If your goal is to improve your English pronunciation but you have no idea where to get started, then this is the perfect pronunciation lesson for you. You're going to learn how to pronounce all the sounds in English, following modern and received pronunciation, as well as learn about the basics of English stress, intonation, and rhythm to help you sound more natural and fluent when you speak English. To get the best results from this lesson, you need to practice and get feedback. But how can you get feedback and corrections? Simple, by finding the perfect teacher to help you. But how do you find the perfect English teacher for you? My friend, I highly recommend you check out the only platform I ever recommend to my friends and students, Preply. Preply will help you find your perfect English teacher. You can easily find an English teacher from anywhere in the world who's fully qualified and specializes in a specific area, such as pronunciation, conversation and fluency building, and exam preparation. So you can feel completely supported during your learning journey. You can get 50% off your first lesson with your Preply teacher if you use the code EMMA. I also use Preply just like a normal student for my Spanish lessons, and I've been receiving so many compliments on my Spanish recently, and I feel so much more independent. I feel like I don't need to rely on my Spanish boyfriend. I can just go out and speak to people, and it's amazing, it's so freeing, and I feel so independent. So get started by clicking the link in the description of this video, and remember to get your 50% off your first lesson by using the code EMMA. Now let's get started with your very first English pronunciation lesson. This lesson is divided into 3 parts. The first part is going to look at all the vowel sounds in British English. The second part of this video is going to look at all the consonant sounds of English. The sounds that you're going to learn are all part of the British Phonemic Chart. This chart helps to represent all the sounds found in received pronunciation. The reason why I've chosen to teach received pronunciation is because this is considered the standard accent when teaching British English. However, only 2 to 3% of native English speakers from England use this accent, so bear this in mind. Besides the sounds which you will find on the British Phonemic Chart, we'll be learning some additional sounds as well, which you will find very useful for your English pronunciation. Then finally, the third and final part of this video, we will be going through basic English sentence stress, intonation and rhythm. So you can put everything that you've learned in this lesson into practice. So there will be some activities for you at the end of this lesson. So let's start by pronouncing the vowels of English. Now, this sound you will not find in the British Phonemic Chart. It is not represented there because it is the same sound as the one we just looked at in B. The difference here is that I with the 2 dots is a longer vowel. The shorter version without the dots I is pronounced the same way, but you will find it more commonly at the end of words. So instead of saying happy, we say happy. So it's the same position, but it's just shorter. Now we're going to move on to the diphthongs. The diphthongs are where we have 2 vowel sounds together to produce one sound, so you will find them in just one syllable. For example, IA is comprised of the sounds /I/ and /U. Now, if you find this sound quite difficult, or maybe you've even heard some people say it this way, you can change the sound to O. So instead of saying tour, you can say tour. So words like sure become show. Are you sure? Are you sure? Is there a cure? Is there a cure? He was furious. He was furious. So if you hear some native speakers from England changing that UA to O, you now know and you can understand them better. Now, the sound, your U, definitely sounds more like received pronunciation, and some speakers may interpret it as sounding a little bit posh. Oh no! So what you may hear more speakers using, and more commonly, you're going to hear this is OU, OU. So the difference here is just how open your mouth is. You have U, OU, OU. It's a very subtle difference, but people will definitely hear it. So when we say /EO, it's definitely more received pronunciation. So some people again may interpret it as sounding a little bit posh. What you might hear some people say is E mate. So instead of saying E and relaxing to do that second sound, we just keep the first sound going and just make it longer. So Hugh sounds like he. So let's compare the difference. Her hair is long. Her hair is long. It's subtle, but again, people will be able to hear that difference. Now we're going to practice pronouncing all of the consonant sounds in British English. Now you will Amy and Esau